Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host, and with me is a man who considers himself a peacemaker because basically he's usually the one that started the argument. It's Dale.
Yeah, you're probably damn right about that. Peacemaker just means walk away and let it, just walk away.
That's it, bud. What's happening today?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you?
Doing a little bit better. You know, we've had some issues going on and stuff, but everything seems to be all right, I guess. For the time being. So sorry about missing last week, but stuff happens, man.
It is, man. Things happen. That's just the way that's the way life is.
Right.
You got any good shout-outs for us, anything today?
Well, we dug up a few. Just kidding.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, nobody loves us. I'm just kidding. Twice kidding. Anyway, to give a shout out to Stephanie Hamrick. Sorry, we'll get your stickers out to you as soon as I can. I've had some stuff going on, and I apologize, but we'll give you a good shout out, and then we'll send you a little merch back. I appreciate you.
Thanks for listening, Stephanie.
And we give a shout out to one of our good buddies, Felicity, who is a host of the Unknown Passage podcast. She gave us a killer shout out the other week in the episode, and we just thought we would repay that debt. And you guys go over and check it out. She's got a really killer podcast, and she digs us, so she's a good person.
Felicity, we really appreciate you.
Yeah, check it out. And also, today's show was a recommendation that came from Ray, a YouTuber, who asked if we would cover this today, and so we're going to do this one for you, Ray.
Ray. Is it Ray or is it Ray?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Ray of the Ray.
All right, Ray.
I guess. Hell, I don't know. Ray.
Mr. Ray. We appreciate the recommendation. I really do. All right, Dale, we're going to get into our episode, bud.
All righty.
This is the case of Don Spirit.
All righty.
And we hadn't really done a case like this. This is a little bit different for us because there's a lot of stuff and it's all over the place.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff and then there's nothing, really.
Yeah. And this takes place in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think we have done a Florida case, but not a Florida one like this.
No.
This is really different.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Don Spirit, and he was born on December the 11th, 1962. He lived in the Tampa area.
Right.
And he was married to Christine Jeffers Spirit. And he had one sister named Cindy Spirit Rich. And him and Christine, they had 3 kids together, Dale.
Right.
Sarah Lorraine Spirit, Kyle Spirit, and Josh Spirit.
That's a pretty cool name.
But getting back to Don, he was noted by his wife, who they became ex-spouses, that he had a little bit of bipolar going on.
He had a lot of issues.
Yeah. A little mental health going on, and that we're going to get into.
Yeah.
Now, it was reported that Don was arrested a lot.
Yep.
For several different things.
All over the place.
Drugs, marijuana, speeding violations.
Assault.
Yeah.
Domestic violence.
Yeah.
You know, he had some felonies and stuff. His record was fairly long.
I think this felony was possession of marijuana.
Yeah, felony charge. So he must have I was going to say a shitload. He must have had a lot.
Yeah. So he did have a felony.
Right.
And we're going to get up to the point where Don and his 2 boys, they go on a hunting trip.
Right.
And they are near Tampa. And I think they were out in the woods walking around with the gun Don had.
Right.
And
I never did say if they all had guns or not.
I never did.
So it was never. I couldn't find out. You can't find out a whole lot about nothing, truthfully. But
anyway, they were out hunting, and Don noticed some rust on the end of his rifle.
On his muzzle, yeah.
Yeah, on the muzzle part of it, and he was showing it to the boys. And Kyle, the youngest one, looked down to see it, and the gun went off. Shot him in the head.
Killed him instantly.
And it had been reported that Don had put him in the back of the truck.
Yeah. Took him, sped up to a campground trying to get him some help, right?
Yeah.
Doing CPR and everything, but
he was
they couldn't do nothing for him.
Couldn't do nothing for him. And I think this left Don in a
state of depression.
Bad state of affairs.
Yeah, he was already, I don't know what I want to say.
Mental.
Yeah, I mean, he already had some problems, let's put it that way. And then, with everything, and I don't really know much about his mental state at the time, but it seemed like it was okay, not great, as far as everything that he had done in the past. But then, so he's taking his kids out on a hunting trip, which a lot of people do, and then this happens. But it's kind of weird to me. I know a lot of people say they thought maybe he did it on purpose, but I don't really think so, because at this point, I don't think he's in that place, especially with his boys.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's kind of odd to me to go, "Hey, look at the rust on the end of my barrel." But I mean, it's kind of an odd circumstance. But I don't think it was a purpose. I just think it was accidental shooting.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, if you're any kind of gun owner, you're going to keep the gun pointed down.
Should.
You should be.
Yeah, but how can you look at the rust on the muzzle if you point them down?
How did he know it was there?
Why in the hell would you look at it anyway?
Exactly.
So it's just kind of weird, and I guess the explanation comes from Don, so we don't really know why happened.
Yeah. But you can make your own judgment about that and judge it off of this case that we're going to talk about.
Right. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. But with Don having a felony against him, he wasn't allowed to carry a gun.
Right. Now, he didn't get in trouble for the shooting. It was ruled an accident, but he did get in trouble for having a firearm.
Yes.
So he was sentenced to 3 years in the jail.
But he did go to prison for 3 years for this.
Yes.
And he actually pled guilty to this to take the minimum sentence. He was actually, if he hadn't pled guilty, he was going to get up to 15 years. So he took the 3 years.
Right.
Now, during this time that he was in prison, his wife divorced him.
She took this time to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Which is smart, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she was probably scared of him, even though now, didn't they? She went and pleaded actually for them to take it easy on him because this has really been bad on him, and this put him in this state of depression. And I don't know how long between this happened and when he went to jail, but the timeline. But she said that he'd been to many doctors and they couldn't find any medication that would help him, and said that she found him crying almost every day. So that's why I'm thinking maybe this. I really don't think it was intentional, because it was really. I think this might have been part of the push you over the edge incident right here.
Yep.
And then she while he was in. She divorced him, which is probably smart on her part, because I'm sure she was not. I'm sure she was probably scared of him.
Yeah.
Especially of all the shit that they'd already been through, and with all his long, lengthy record of abuse.
Yep. But they lived in Tampa, Florida until 1998. Like we said, Don was arrested many times for felony, drug possession, obstruction of justice, depriving a child of food and shelter. And he did have a long criminal record.
All kind of shit, yeah.
Yep. But like I said, he was jailed for 3 years until 2006.
And then while you said that she filed for divorce while he was in prison.
Yes.
And through the letters, they said they were fighting over who's getting a jet ski and who's getting a camper, and Don had actually said he thought he was the better parent.
That's what he said.
So, and apparently he gets the kids when he gets out, right? So
he does.
So how the hell does that happen?
She must have been a terrible parent not to get them kids, and him having all this on him. And I can't find anything on this woman at all. You can't find anything. So I don't know what's up with her.
Yeah, that's very rare that the husband gets custody, plus the fact that he's just getting out of prison for all this and his record. So yeah, it's kind of strange to me that it even happens.
Yeah.
Now, when he was in prison, I think his oldest daughter, his daughter, had one kid when he went in and 2 more when he got out?
Yes, she had 3 kids
yeah.
while he was in prison.
Right, so she was having a few.
Yeah.
So I don't know how old she was at this point. But
yeah, the first baby daddy of Sarah, his name was Edward Coleman, and he was the father of the 3 oldest children. And he was in state prison for a lot of burglary and grand theft charges.
The father.
Yeah, for the 3 oldest kids, Sarah's 3 oldest kids.
So I wonder when he went to prison, does it say?
It doesn't say. I haven't found anything about that.
So Caleb, Kyle, and Jonathan were his 3 boys.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was serving a 25-year sentence.
So he ain't getting that.
No.
No time soon.
Yep. Sarah's second baby daddy was Jamie Stewart, and he is in the Levi County Jail on probation violation charges, according to his online records. But there's nothing else in there about why he was in there for anything, what his probation was.
And she's got 3 kids from this guy too. Right?
Yes.
Destiny, Brandon, and Alana.
Yep.
So we got a lot of similarities here. We got 3 kids by 2 dudes, and both of them's in prison.
Yeah, Sarah's not. Her track record ain't that great. Man.
No.
But she did. I think she maybe had a little bit of mental health stuff going on because she did suffer from epilepsy. And
well, you know, and they were all on drugs doing that. It was also said that they were doing like the K2 synthetic, what do you call it, spice?
Yeah, spice.
Fake weed.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Which I don't, you know, what year was this?
Is fake weed more expensive or cheaper than regular weed?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
I don't know. Do you not know?
No.
I don't know either.
I don't know why in Florida, why would they be smoking fake weed this season?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. It might be cheaper. I don't know. It's probably easier to get. That's probably when you can get it from the store, you know, because there for a while, when that stuff come out, you could get it about anywhere, and then they banned it. Mm-hmm. So, around here anyway.
But now, shortly after Dom was released from prison, they moved to the town of Bell, Florida.
Right.
And this is a town of about 500 people, and it is just south of Tallahassee, Florida, and west of Gainesville.
Yeah, it's just tiny.
It's about 3 hours north of Tampa. And, you know, like other places of Florida, you know, got all the amusement parks and things like that. This is not known for anything like that. It's just a farm area.
Right.
Dairy and just rolling hills.
A little rural.
This is where people, you know, spend a lot of time dirt biking, hunting, fishing, and people living in mobile homes on several acres.
Right.
And
yeah, I think he had a couple acres when they moved out there.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, there wasn't much for work out there. Wasn't a lot of jobs.
You either cut trees, haul gravel, or
stuff like that, physical work jobs. And then it said him being a felon, you know, it's probably not easy for him to find a job either to support his family.
But, you know, this town of Bell, you know, 500 people, I've even read, too, that, you know, people there, they know your good business and they know your bad business.
I'm sure. Everybody probably knows everybody.
Yep, exactly. And they know everything about the Spirit family.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get into some of the things that happened while they were there in Bell. When Sarah was 22 years old, she was 8 months pregnant with her 4th kid, Dale. And she called the police pretty much in a panic and telling them that her father was violent, she was afraid of him, and she had nowhere to go. And it was at this time that he had pushed her against the refrigerator and actually put his hands really hard on her face and caused a lot of pain to her.
Yeah, I think she was living with him, and he was wanting her to pay his property taxes. And she said no, and that's when he went off on her.
Yeah. And Sarah had even wrote that her father had threatened to make her life hell if she ever called the authorities, and even if she went to the police.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to get a restraining order, but never followed up on it. And the online court records show Don was later sentenced to 6 months in jail on battery charge on Sarah. Mm. Now, Dale, there were many calls to the Florida Abuse Hotline about the crazy parenting skills of Sarah Spirit. It began in 2008, and they were neglect of these kids, abuse, beatings, burnings, medical neglect, poor supervision, drug abuse, abandonment, domestic battery. There was even one of the kids was held back in school for 2 years for lice.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the boys had stepped on a piece of glass, a shard of glass, and cut his foot.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, and Sarah soaked it in bleach and wrapped duct tape around it.
Yeah, put tissue on it and wrap duct tape around it. There you go.
Yeah, and they tried to, I guess, doctor him at school or get her to take him to the doctor.
Yeah, the school nurse was trying to get her to take him to the doctor, which she never did.
I can't imagine. Bleach burns like crazy.
Oh, crazy, man. Said eventually that I think the resource officer took him to the doctor eventually after being talked to by the nurse.
Yeah, and had something done.
And I think, and even when DCF asked about that, it's like, well, yeah, everything's been taken care of, you know, with some help with some friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we'll get into more of that anyway. But there were like over 18 investigations in this family throughout all this stuff.
And they kept coming back out. I mean, the police knew where this home was.
Yeah.
They were very familiar with the Spirit home.
Yeah, and said the children was stealing food because they were all hungry, and And then even the spirits were insisted that the family were having steak for dinner, and the children were going, "Yeah, but we ate cereal and ramen noodles," and they dined on steak and vegetables. And even Don beat the kids with a belt for jumping on the couch. It was just all on and on, man.
Constantly. And one of the little girls nearly lost all of her teeth because of rot.
Man.
Yep. And like we said, the Department of Children and Family Services offered parenting skills to Sarah, and she mostly refused them. Mm-hmm. And then once in 2013, she agreed to accept help, but then dropped from the program.
Yeah. They said she just told them she'd really try harder.
And at one point, the agency took her children from her. It was around 2007, but then gave them back to her.
Yeah. They could have, done a little better, I think.
And the caseworkers, private child welfare agency, threatened to take legal action against Sarah if she continued to harm her kids, but the threat didn't go anywhere.
So basically, they just laid around getting high all the time.
Yeah.
On whatever, crack, cocaine was alleged also, and this fake weed and everything, and nobody's taking care of the kids at all. I mean, it's hard enough, with a couple kids, but can you imagine having 6 little kids, and she ain't working?
No, she's not working.
That you couldn't work, really, if with all them kids. How could you work?
Mm-mm.
So she's just, and then both their baby daddies are in prison, so she's not getting any support there. So I don't know what she's probably getting, maybe food stamps or something. She's probably selling them off or whatever.
And I can't imagine.
I don't know. It's all speculation on my part, but that's just the way it looks to me, So it looks like she don't really have a choice but to stay with Don.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can she do?
That's her only choice.
At
Even
this
though
point.
their father-daughter relationship was very strained.
Volatile.
Yeah. And there was at one point, Dale, after the baby was born, she went to a neighbor to ask for diapers and food.
Yeah. I think at one point that she was actually living in a shack, and one of her baby's daddy, one of her baby daddies, their family had an old dilapidated shack on the back of their property. They were living there for a while, and that's when she went to the neighbors asking for food and some diapers and stuff, and that's when she realized she didn't have no choice but to move back in with Don. Mm-hmm. So it's just in and out, and I'm sure he I don't know. I don't say I'm sure. I don't. It was also said that he had said that he hated them kids and he wished somebody come get them, and then somebody say, well, he didn't really mean that, but it's just all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, Don's spirit was very violent, and he had a history of violence against his daughter and the kids, her kids. Even the detailed records suggest that the DCF's frequent contacts with the spirit family often left the small children no better off than they were.
No. It's pitiful. I mean, this went over for like 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, not just a couple times here and there, but over 8 years.
And like you said, the kids were stealing food just to be able to eat.
Yeah, because they're hungry. I mean,
man, they said the kids would be left at the drug house.
Yeah, they go to crack house and just leave the kids there.
Yep, not our crack house, but
yeah,
a real crack house.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty damn sad.
Yep, it's pitiful about these kids, man.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance. They really didn't.
No, because the DCF, they were not trying at all.
No.
To help these kids. And one of the boys had a broken leg. He was in a cast, and his mother, Sarah, had claimed that he fell off a trampoline.
Yeah.
And even the investigators questioned why a little boy would have been allowed on the trampoline.
Yeah, I don't know where the trampoline was, whose it was, or which kid it was.
But the DCF ruled there were no signs of abuse or neglect, even though one kid had a bite mark and yellow bruises.
Yeah. Sure, nothing's going on.
And it was at one point, one of the kids was found wandering the neighborhood with a steak knife.
Yeah. And I kind of thought that was funny. It's like he's just looking for something to eat. I mean, so we take my steak knife with me. I mean, it ain't funny, but it is.
And all this time, Sarah had a history of chaotic lifestyle and poor decision making. And
really?
but the report said that the children do not appear at risk.
How can you look at this and I don't know? It's like these reports were in the 30s or something, where they wrote it on a piece of paper and filed it and never look at it. It's not and this hadn't been that long ago. You know what I mean?
I know.
It ain't like when you would punch it up on the computer, and all that should just come up.
This ain't 70s and 80s stuff. This is 2010 right here.
Yeah.
Because in 2010, the DCF was told that Caleb, who was a preteen at the time, had suffered a cigarette lighter burn on his neck.
Mm.
And there were several hotline calls that arrived in 2012. And in January of that year, the agency was told that Kylie, one of the girls, like we said, had kindergarten twice because of chronic head lice.
Yeah, that's awful. God damn, you just ain't paying attention to nothing except for where you're getting your next high and your next baby.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't know. It's crazy. You know, and there's all more calls in over and over and over about they're doing drugs in front of the kids, and all the adults their eyes are always half closed, you know, and this is just a message they left. And it said even one time that the school guidance counselor had paid the electric bill to keep the lights turned on.
Yeah.
So that's how bad it was. But yet, everything's fine when you talk to the DCF.
Yep. And there was a report filed in May of 2013 that said Dawn Spirit had beaten 8-year-old Kylie with a belt, leaving bruises on her knees, and that Sarah's boyfriend at the time would wreck her house when he couldn't find their spice.
Right, yeah. Tear it all to hell. One little girl, I can't remember which one it was, I'm sorry about that, but one of them, she went to school and she had some problems, and I was asking her about it, and she said that her mama had paddled her feet
Because she wouldn't go to bed.
She wouldn't go to bed. So it's just
bruising
it's
her
pitiful.
feet. And it was just so much dysfunction.
Yeah, understatement.
And in July of that year, the DCF told Spirit that they left the 6 kids unattended at home so she could go get high. And the mother uses K2 drug on a daily basis and got high for years. And she does not pay attention to the kids.
She can't be.
And there was a report that was closed on August the 28th of that year by investigator Shelley McDarris, and she concluded the allegations were the result of a false report made by a family member because of an altercation. And she stated that the children's needs are being met.
Yeah.
All right, Dale, we are going to get up to pretty much the crux of our story.
Yep. And it don't get no better, folks.
This takes place on September the 14th, 2014. And this is when a 911 call is made by Dawn Spirit.
Okay.
And we have that 911 call right here.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go.
Gilchrist County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
What is the address that you're at, sir?
2550 Northwest, 25 Terrace, Dawn Spirit. Every one of them are dead.
You said your name is Dawn Spirit?
Yep.
All right, Dawn, what kind of gun do you have?
It doesn't matter what kind of gun I got. They're all dead, and then when you get here, I'll shoot myself, and then you figure out what kind of gun it is.
How long ago this happened, Dawn?
I don't want to hear it, man. I'm done with every fucking thing. Just bring the motherfuckers out here, that's all. You got all the kids are dead in the house.
Okay, how many people? Okay, how many people?
6 kids, 1 adult.
6 kids and 1 adult?
Yeah. One of them is a baby.
All right, Dawn, is there any way you can stay on the phone with me till I get somebody there to help you?
What's that?
Can I have you stay on the phone with me?
No, not that. I'm waiting for them to get here. When they get here, I'm going to shoot myself on my back step. All I'm doing is waiting for them.
So you're sitting on your back steps?
Yep.
Okay, Dawn.
Man, that's something else. That call is I don't know. It's pretty terrifying, actually.
I mean, that is the first time I heard it, I was like, is this an act?
Right.
But because he sounds so calm at first.
Tell you who's calm, the damn operator.
The 911 operator.
Kudos to her.
Yeah.
I mean,
whoever she is, yeah.
because I'm sure you know, you can hear her just typing away and asking the questions, and he's being, you know, being him. Okay, so your name's this, yeah, you know, and stuff. And I'm thinking, and when he says, you know, yeah, they're all dead, and you know, one of them's a baby and all that, I'm thinking, I'm sure her heart just dropped, you know, but she kept it together pretty darn good. Now at the very near the end there, you can hear her whisper something about I need some help or they need some help. But overall, you know, she done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out why he wanted to wait.
I don't know why he wanted to wait till they got there.
It's kind of odd.
I think Don pretty much hung up on the 911 operator.
Yeah, I think so too, because you know she wanted to try to keep him on the line, and he wasn't having none of that shit. He was basically, come on out here and get on my, you know, I'm waiting on y'all, and then I'm going out too.
Yep.
For some reason, that was kind of weird.
Because it was 9 minutes after the call was made, the police showed up.
Yep.
And when they got there, Don was out in the yard with looked like a jug of water in his hand.
Right.
And when they got out, he told them, he said, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the Stewarts. Colleen Stewart has turned Sarah into a whore and drugs, and I'm fed up with this whole family. The Stewart family. They ruined my life. They ruined my life, and I'm just tired of them all. I've taken care of it today. That's what he told them.
Man.
Because one thing that happened to Sarah, she had started, I guess, doing jobs for sex.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because
she was using his phone, Don's phone, for the guys to call her on.
Yeah, and this Colleen Stewart, she was the aunt of her last baby daddy.
Oh.
Yeah, she was the aunt. So she was the great aunt of these
kids,
these younger 3 kids, and she had hooked her up to be able to do sex work and drugs with a guy named, all we could find was Jose. And he was from Trenton. I think it's just a town right outside of Bell, Florida. And I think one time she had received $20 or $25. I think it was $20 for the first time, and then $75 for the second time she was with him. And Don, her dad, was wanting some of that money.
He's wanting his cut.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, Don is pimping her out, man.
Yeah. No matter how you look at it, that's exactly what he's doing.
He's taking money that his daughter's getting for sex work, and
she's doing a deed for $1, and he's wanting his cut.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But that's just a little backstory on that right there. But then,
anyway, back to the yard.
Yeah, Don is reported going back into the house.
Yeah, now they was trying to talk to him and stuff, but he ain't having none of it.
No. Because Don is observed returning from the back of the trailer with a semi-automatic weapon.
Right.
And he shot himself.
Shot himself in the head.
Yep. And the report pretty much shows that video and audio of the suicide was captured on dash cam footage as the additional law enforcement personnel began to arrive to assist with the investigation. But now, the deputies did discover Sarah's body outside, and it was partially underneath a tarp.
Right.
And the report also states that in addition to being shot in the head, Dale, she was stabbed 6 times and suffered blunt force trauma to the head, which looked like she was being pistol whipped. And the bodies of the children were found in different locations inside the home, and autopsy showed that the youngest child died from a gunshot wound to the torso, and the 5 older ones died from a gunshot wound to the head. You got the names of her kids, Dale?
I do. Caleb Coleman was the oldest. He was 11. Kyle Coleman was 9. Jonathan Coleman was 8. Destiny Stewart was 5. Brandon Stewart was 4. And Elena Stewart was 10 weeks old.
Yep.
And that's the one who was shot in the chest.
Yeah.
Sarah was 28 when she died. And Don was 51.
Pitiful. And Don Spirit's ex-wife indicated to investigators that she believed that Don was bipolar and possibly under the influence of illegal drugs at the time of all this.
No shit.
Yeah. And she also mentions that, he'd been smoking that spice, but had gone off his medication for at least a month or 2.
Yeah, it's pretty damn sad, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He was way out there.
But it seems like to me the DCF Department of Children and Family.
18 different investigations,
Yeah.
and they can't find nothing wrong.
They did not help this family at all.
No. They should have took them kids a long time ago.
And they did, but give them back to her.
Yeah. So it was just
A scare tactic.
It was
probably.
just, yeah.
Straighten up or we will keep them again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a scare tactic, no doubt. Now, Dale, the Florida Department of Children and Family Services and 2 private companies, they agreed to pay $750,000 to settle legal claims resulting in the mass killing in Gilchrist County, which is, Bell, Florida.
Right.
And, Don Spirit was 51. He murdered his daughter Sarah and their 6 kids. And it was sort of broken up a little bit. The DCF would pay $450,000, while the Partnership for Strong Families and Devereaux, which are 2 companies that help manage state child welfare cases, they paid $250,000 and $50,000 respectively as part of the settlement. But the money did go to the victims' estates, and according to the department, the family had been involved in 18 child protective custody allegations from February 2006 to September 18th, 2014, the day of the killings.
Yeah, because even a report came in 3 days later after they was already dead. Somebody else reported them.
Yeah, that they were observed getting off of the school bus, well dressed, excited to be home, and
Happy to see their mom.
Yep. But this report was filed 3 days after they were found dead.
Right. So they're in there trying to cover their ass. That's all they're doing.
Exactly.
Sorry, but
they
that's
know
what it is.
because they knew they failed his family.
Yeah.
But Don Spirit was involved in 6 investigations and was alleged to have been the perpetrator in 3, including a 2008 instance in which he was arrested for physically abusing his then pregnant daughter, and the murders prompted questions about whether the department and private providers could have done more to protect the kids.
Right. And they would even, say that, Don was, they would say that he was, he's okay to help them out. And would keep going back to him, for him to help him out, even though he was named on over 1/3 of the cases.
The problems, yeah.
He was on. Hell, he was the one doing the stuff too. But they was like, well, he'll do it, and he'll take care of you. He's a good guy.
Yep. And the caseworkers on this, they were, I think they were demoted and received a cut in pay.
Yeah, some of the supervisors, I'm sure, or whatever, they were demoted to jobs still in the department, but their wages were cut in half.
Yeah.
So, they really done a good job after that.
Oh, yeah, they didn't care about anything after that.
No.
Mm-mm.
So nobody was fired or nothing. They just,
But because of this, even the state of Florida legislation has passed some laws because of this crime that, more is going to be done to help families a little bit more.
Yeah, they're supposed to set in some programs where, to make everything faster and more real time instead of going off reports and, and having to sift through stuff. But I don't know. I think it's all just a bunch of stuff covering our ass. I really don't know how much difference it, make. They said there was like a real lack of foster homes down there and stuff. But damn, they could have found somebody would take these kids in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand.
No. But it's a sad situation, and Don, in his crazy mind, was just tired.
He was
He was
tired of everything and all the shit, and he was going to take care of it. And I think probably, I don't know, nobody knows really, but I think something happened between him and Sarah, and things went way, way too far.
Yeah.
Because I would think he probably killed her first.
Yeah, especially with the beating she took.
And then was like, well, screw it. I'm just taking everybody with me.
And I'm going to.
Yep. We're all going. We're all done.
Yep.
That's kind of way because nobody really knows what happened.
But the only one that's still alive is Don's son Josh,
Yep.
and he is with his mother, Don's ex-wife Christine. But their location is unknown. I couldn't find anything on them where they're at.
I thought I heard he was in jail. But
I don't know. But anyway, that is the story of Don Spirit.
Yeah, I know it's a little scattered, but it ain't a lot to it. But there ain't much more you can find.
No.
It's a sad tale of injustice.
Yeah. The system failing some kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Papa Donnie taking them all out.
Not this Donnie,
No.
but Papa Donnie. All right, Dale. We are going to get out of here.
All right, man, let's do it.
We want everyone to be safe, be careful, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is
the Crack House Chronicles.